You've flown dozens of times. Same airline, same routes, same pre-flight routine you've perfected over years of business travel. You know exactly how long it takes to get through security, which gate your flight usually departs from, even which seat you prefer. You're a seasoned traveler. But here's the truth that no one's telling you. In 2025, airlines are denying boarding to passengers at record rates. Not for overbooking, not for weather delays, but for behavioral patterns and habits that used to be completely normal. Things you've been doing for years without a second thought are now red flags in their updated passenger screening systems. Habits that made you feel like a smart, efficient traveler are now getting you pulled from flights at the gate. And the worst part? Most travelers don't find out until they're already at the boarding gate, bags packed, ready to fly. Stick around because habit number 6 has gotten more business travelers denied boarding than any other single behavior in 2025. Let's jump in. Habit number 10, last-minute seat changes. You check in online exactly 24 hours early, but then you keep refreshing the seat map. A better seat opens up, so you switch, then another one. Maybe an aisle seat becomes available, so you grab that too. You're just optimizing your flight experience, right? Wrong. Airlines now flag passengers who make multiple seat changes within 24 hours of departure as potential security risks. Their algorithms interpret frequent seat changes as erratic passenger behavior or possible coordination with other travelers. Here's what most people have no idea about. Every seat change creates a data point in your passenger profile. 3 or more changes trigger an automatic review. 5 changes can get you flagged for additional screening or boarding denial. One executive flying from Chicago to Los Angeles made 7 seat changes in 18 hours, trying to find the perfect spot. Gate agents pulled him aside, questioned him for 20 minutes, and ultimately denied him boarding because his behavior pattern suggested possible coordination with unknown parties. He missed a $2 million client meeting because he wanted a window seat. The fix? Choose your seat once and stick with it. If you absolutely must change, do it only once and do it at least 12 hours before departure. Don't say we didn't warn you. Habit number 9, excessive app usage. Your phone buzzes with a flight notification, so you open the airline app to check it. Then you switch to the weather app to check conditions at your destination. Flight tracker to see if you're on time. Airport map to locate your gate. Back to the airline app to see if anything changed. That constant app switching just raised multiple red flags. Airlines monitor passenger digital behavior through their apps and Wi-Fi networks. When you're rapidly switching between flight-related apps, especially in the hours before departure, their behavioral analysis systems flag it as heightened travel anxiety or operational intelligence gathering. And the worst part, they can see which apps you're using even when you're not on their Wi-Fi. Your phone's metadata creates a digital footprint that airlines access through their partnerships with data brokers. Excessive flight tracking, airport navigation, and travel app usage gets categorized as unusual passenger preparation behavior. This next one, even airline employees are getting caught. A flight attendant deadheading to her next assignment got denied boarding because she checked the crew app, passenger app, weather app, and flight tracker too many times in 1 hour. The system flagged her as a passenger exhibiting crew-level operational awareness without appropriate credentials. She worked for the airline and still got denied. Limit your app usage to essential checks only. Open the airline app once to confirm your gate and departure time. That's it. Save the weather checking and flight tracking for after you're airborne. Your digital behavior is being monitored more closely than you think. Habit number 8, gate hovering. Your flight doesn't board for another hour, but you're already hanging around the gate area. Sitting nearby, watching the agents, listening to announcements for other flights. You want to be ready when boarding starts. That lingering behavior just got you noticed for all the wrong reasons. Gate agents are trained to identify passengers who spend excessive time in the gate area before their boarding time. Extended gate hovering suggests either extreme anxiety or surveillance behavior. Neither looks good in their training manual. Here's what they're watching for: passengers who arrive more than 45 minutes before boarding and remain in the immediate gate area. Travelers who position themselves to observe agent activities. Anyone who seems to be monitoring operational procedures. One consultant flying from Denver to Phoenix arrived at his gate 90 minutes early and stayed put, working on his laptop. Gate agents noted his excessive gate presence and questioned him before boarding about why he'd been monitoring gate operations for an extended period. He was just working in a quiet spot. Cost him 30 minutes of questioning and nearly missed his connection. Arrive at your gate 30 minutes before boarding begins. If you're early, find somewhere else to wait. Food court, another gate area, anywhere that's not directly observing your departure gate. Most people have no idea that being early and prepared can look suspicious to gate agents. Habit number 7, bathroom trips during critical times. You need to use the restroom. It's 20 minutes before boarding starts, and you want to take care of business before getting on the plane. Makes perfect sense, right? That timing just triggered their behavioral monitoring system. Airlines track passenger movements during what they call pre-boarding critical periods. When passengers leave the gate area during the 30 minutes before boarding begins, it gets flagged as departure anomaly behavior. The system doesn't know if you're using the bathroom, making a phone call, or coordinating with someone outside the secure area. But it knows you're not where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. And that's enough to get you additional scrutiny. A marketing director in Miami stepped out to use the restroom 15 minutes before her boarding group was called. When she returned, gate agents asked her where she'd been, why she'd left, and who she'd spoken to while away from the gate. The questioning delayed her boarding, and she ended up in the last group despite having priority status. Handle bathroom needs either more than 45 minutes before boarding or wait until you're on the plane. The 30-minute window before boarding is a no-travel zone for leaving the gate area. Your perfectly normal needs can look suspicious if the timing is wrong. Have you ever been delayed for something that seemed totally normal? Drop your story. We might include it. Habit number 6, the business traveler's boarding card error. You're a frequent flyer. Elite status, priority boarding, you know the drill. So when they call your boarding group, you walk up confidently with your phone ready to scan. But you don't have your boarding pass open. You have to unlock your phone, find the app, wait for it to load, then locate your pass. That delay just cost you more than time. Gate agents are trained to flag passengers who can't immediately present boarding documents when called. The delay suggests either unfamiliarity with travel procedures or potential document issues. And here's the kicker that's catching experienced travelers. Having elite status, but not being prepared with your boarding pass creates an even bigger red flag. The system expects high-tier passengers to be efficient and prepared. When you're not, it suggests something is wrong. This behavior has gotten more business travelers denied boarding than any other single habit in 2025. One platinum member with over 200,000 miles flew monthly for 8 years without issues. In 2025, he started getting pulled aside for questions every time he wasn't ready with his boarding pass. The third time it happened, they denied him boarding entirely. Elite status passengers who can't efficiently present boarding documents suggest fraudulent status or stolen credentials, according to the gate agent training manual. Have your boarding pass ready and visible before they call your group. Screen unlocked, app open, pass displayed. No exceptions. Don't say we didn't warn you. Habit number 5, carry-on reorganization at the gate. You're sitting at the gate waiting to board. Your carry-on is right there next to you, so you decide to reorganize it a bit. Move your laptop to a more accessible pocket. Rearrange your clothes. Make sure everything fits properly. That innocent reorganization just triggered security protocols. Gate agents monitor passengers for what they call pre-departure baggage manipulation. When travelers are accessing, reorganizing, or rearranging their carry-on contents in the gate area, it raises questions about what they might be preparing or concealing. And the worst part? They're watching you even when you think they're busy with other tasks. Gate agents are trained to maintain passive surveillance of all passengers in their area. Unusual bag activity gets noted in their passenger observation logs. Here's what most travelers miss. Reorganizing your bag suggests you packed incorrectly or you're preparing something specific for the flight. Both scenarios trigger additional scrutiny. A sales manager in Seattle decided to move his presentation materials to the top of his bag while waiting at the gate. Gate agents approached him, asked what he was doing, and requested to inspect his bag contents. The questioning and inspection process took 25 minutes. He made his flight, but just barely. Pack your carry-on correctly before arriving at the airport. Don't touch it, reorganize it, or access it while in the gate area unless it's an absolute emergency. Your preparation looks suspicious to trained observers. Habit number 4, charging device musical chairs. Your phone battery is getting low, so you look around for a charging station. Find one, plug in, sit down. But it's not working great, so you move to another outlet. That one's better, but now you're far from the gate, so you move closer to a different charging spot. That outlet hopping behavior just raised multiple red flags. Airport security systems track passenger movement patterns, especially around electronic charging stations. Frequent movement between different charging locations suggests either reconnaissance behavior or possible coordination with other individuals. Each time you move to a new charging station, surveillance systems log your location and timing. Multiple moves within a short time period trigger automated alerts to security personnel. This next detail will shock you. Charging stations are among the most monitored locations in airports because they're common meeting points for coordinated activities. When passengers move between multiple stations, it suggests possible surveillance of security positions or coordination with other travelers. A tech consultant in Los Angeles moved between 4 different charging stations in 30 minutes, trying to find one that worked well with his laptop. Security approached him, questioned him about his movements, and ultimately denied him boarding because his pattern suggested possible reconnaissance activity. He was just trying to charge his laptop for a client presentation. Choose one charging location and stay there. If it doesn't work, live with lower battery rather than moving around. Your device's charge level isn't worth missing your flight. Most people have no idea that looking for a good outlet can get you flagged as a security threat. Habit number 3, social media check-in timing. You're excited about your trip, so you post about it on social media. Check in at the airport, share a photo of your gate, tag your destination city, maybe even live stream from the departure lounge. That social media activity just created a permanent record that airlines use against you. Airlines now monitor passenger social media activity as part of their behavioral assessment protocols. Specific types of posts and timing patterns trigger their review systems. Here's what they're flagging: posts that reveal detailed flight information, real-time location updates, photos that show security procedures, or content that suggests coordination with other travelers. And the timing matters more than the content. Posting immediately after clearing security, sharing gate information in real time, or updating location status while in the boarding area all register as operational disclosure behavior. One influencer flying from New York to Miami posted Instagram stories showing her gate number, departure time, and seat assignment. Gate agents pulled her aside before boarding, questioned her about why she was sharing operational details publicly, and denied her boarding due to security disclosure violations. She had 50,000 followers and was just sharing her travel experience. Save your social media updates for after you're airborne or after you arrive at your destination. Don't post real-time location information, flight details, or operational information while in the airport. Your social media habits are being monitored by airline security systems. Don't say we didn't warn you. Habit number 2, the frequent flyer's assumption error. You've been flying this route for years. Same airline, same departure time, same routine. You know this flight gets delayed 20 minutes almost every time, so you show up a little later than your boarding time. Why wait around when you know the pattern? That tardiness just cost you your seat. Airlines have implemented new on-time boarding requirements that deny boarding to passengers who aren't present when their group is called, regardless of flight delays or historical patterns. The policy change happened quietly in late 2024, and even frequent flyers are getting caught off guard. Here's what's different now. Arrival patterns that used to be acceptable are now grounds for boarding denial. Airlines are using stricter boarding cutoff times to improve on-time performance metrics. Your years of experience with flight delays don't matter anymore. A consultant who'd been flying the same Phoenix to Chicago route twice monthly for 5 years learned this the hard way. He knew the flight was always delayed, so he arrived at boarding time instead of 30 minutes early like he used to. The flight was on schedule for once. They'd already called his boarding group and moved on. Gate agents denied him boarding because he failed to respond to boarding announcements in a timely manner. 8 years of loyalty to that route. One assumption cost him the flight and a $400 rebooking fee. Be at your gate 30 minutes before scheduled boarding time, regardless of historical patterns or your experience with delays. The rules changed, even if nobody told you. Airlines are prioritizing schedule adherence over passenger convenience now. Most frequent flyers are still operating under old assumptions that no longer apply. Habit number 1, the helping hand. Habit. Someone at your gate is struggling. Elderly passenger can't figure out the charging station. Family with small children looks overwhelmed with their bags. Business traveler can't get the Wi-Fi to work on his laptop. So you offer to help. You're being a good person, right? That helpful behavior just flagged both of you for intensive screening. Airlines now monitor passenger interactions in gate areas as part of their behavioral assessment protocols. When travelers who don't appear to know each other start interacting, sharing information, or assisting with travel-related activities, it triggers coordination alerts. The system doesn't distinguish between genuine helpfulness and potential security coordination. Here's what most people have no idea about. Any interaction with unknown passengers gets logged in both of your passenger profiles. The airline's behavioral analysis system flags both parties for additional review. And once you're flagged, the scrutiny follows you on future flights. A retired teacher in Denver helped a young mother figure out how to check in on the airline app. Both women were pulled aside before boarding, questioned separately about their relationship, and subjected to additional baggage screening. The process took 45 minutes. The mother missed her connection because she was trying to help someone else. Don't interact with other passengers in the gate area. Don't offer assistance. Don't accept help from strangers. Don't share information about flights, gates, or procedures. Your kindness can cost both you and the person you're helping significant delays and scrutiny. This final mistake is so serious because it creates multiple passenger profiles that get linked in the airline's security database. Bonus habit, the documentation double check. You're a careful traveler. So you double check everything, pull out your boarding pass to confirm the gate number matches the sign. Check your ID to make sure it's the right one. Verify your ticket shows the correct destination. That verification behavior just triggered their document security protocols. Gate agents are trained to flag passengers who repeatedly access and examine their travel documents in the gate area. Excessive document checking suggests either document fraud concerns or extreme anxiety about travel credentials. Both scenarios result in additional scrutiny. Here's what they're watching for: passengers who repeatedly pull out boarding passes, examine IDs multiple times, or seem uncertain about their document validity. The irony? Being extra careful makes you look suspicious. A project manager flying from Atlanta to Dallas checked his boarding pass 6 times in 20 minutes, making sure he was at the right gate. Gate agents noticed the behavior, approached him for questioning, and ultimately requested additional document verification that delayed his boarding by 30 minutes. He was just being thorough and organized. Check your documents once after you arrive at the gate, then put them away. Don't repeatedly verify information that you already know is correct. Overcaution looks suspicious to trained observers. Most people have no idea that being extra careful can work against them. The system behind the habits. Here's what connects all of these denied boarding cases. Airlines have implemented comprehensive behavioral monitoring systems that track passenger actions from the moment you check in until you're seated on the aircraft. Every movement, every interaction, every digital action creates data points in your passenger profile. These systems use artificial intelligence to identify patterns that deviate from normal passenger behavior. The problem is that normal behavior changes constantly, and passengers aren't informed about what the current baseline looks like. What seemed normal last year might now be a red flag behavior. The behavioral analysis algorithms are designed to flag anything unusual, unexpected, or inconsistent with their model of how compliant passengers should act. And here's the key insight that most travelers miss. The system isn't designed to accommodate individual preferences or habits. It's designed to identify and eliminate outliers. If your behavior doesn't match their statistical model of normal passenger conduct, you get flagged for additional review or boarding denial. The algorithms don't care why you're doing something. They only care that you're doing something different from what they expect. Your personal reasons, years of experience, or good intentions don't factor into their calculations. Don't try to be helpful if helpfulness looks like coordination. Don't try to be prepared if preparation looks like surveillance. Don't try to be efficient if efficiency looks like operational intelligence gathering. Don't try to be social if social interaction looks like coordination. The system rewards predictable, unremarkable, isolated passenger behavior. The new passenger profile. Airlines want passengers who arrive at appropriate times and stay in designated areas. Interact minimally with other passengers and airport staff. Use technology appropriately without excessive monitoring behavior. Maintain consistent patterns that match their travel history. Present documents efficiently without repeated verification. Pack and organize belongings before arriving at the airport. Limit social media activity during travel periods. Follow procedures exactly as designed without improvisation. Any deviation from this profile increases your risk of boarding denial. The most successful travelers in 2025 are the ones who understand that flying is now a highly monitored, strictly regulated process where individual personality and preferences must be suppressed. You're not flying as yourself anymore. You're flying as a data point that needs to match their algorithmic expectations. Boring passengers get to fly. Interesting passengers get denied boarding. What the airlines don't tell you. These behavioral monitoring systems were implemented quietly, without passenger notification or consent. The policies changed dramatically in 2024 and 2025, but airlines haven't updated their customer communications to reflect the new reality. Most travelers are still operating under old assumptions about what behaviors are acceptable. Meanwhile, boarding denial rates have increased by 340% since these systems went live. The airlines present these denials as isolated security decisions, but they're actually the result of systematic behavioral profiling that passengers aren't aware exists. Your travel habits that work perfectly for years are now getting you flagged because the underlying systems changed without warning. Final warning. The most important thing to understand is that these systems are constantly evolving. New behavioral flags get added quarterly. The algorithms become more sensitive over time. What gets you through screening today might get you denied boarding next month. But the core principle remains constant. Airlines want predictable, compliant, unremarkable passengers who follow procedures exactly as designed. Any personality, efficiency, helpfulness, or individual preference that makes you stand out from their statistical model increases your risk of boarding denial. The goal isn't to be a good person or an experienced traveler. The goal is to be an invisible data point that matches their expectations perfectly. If you've been denied boarding because of habits you thought were normal, drop your story in the comments below. We're tracking these cases and might feature your experience in an upcoming investigation. Remember, the rules change, but nobody told you. Stay predictable, stay compliant, stay forgettable. Don't say we didn't warn you.